there's a different way that we can think and look at the world. And we started ideating this thought and this idea that we just, we were more than we were being told of who and what we are. And this is a late term run on greatness, you know what I'm saying? Because I was born in the 70s and I was born into this information, but I really activated in the early 2000s in Harlem, New York, at the beginning, and, the upswelling of what the conscious community would ultimately become. And from that place, on that little corner on 125th across the street from the Apollo, I just felt that I can finalize my large dream as a child to be able to do something to save the world. And I felt that I was in the right place to do it amongst our people.
Peace, family. Welcome to the Black Businessman Podcast. We in the building, making it happen. Hail my brother Blue Pill.
Gee,
Good.
you good, Pill?
I'm good. Indeed. Yeah. So, caught Blue Pill, he known in the community, doing videos on the net. We're trying to build up our own platform. Right. Thank you for gracing us here. We've been having conversations, right?
Yes.
Brother Andre, right? Who
Yes.
got it.
Shout out to the gods.
Shout out to the gods, So, and we just want to bring you on here and talk about business, talk about life, talk about being a Black man in business, right? And how that works, right?
I want to say two things. One, you came with some very high recommendations, right? From individuals that said, if you're serious about business and you want to speak to somebody that is passionate about business, this is what the brother sleeps, eats, and drinks. You know what I mean? So I think that, especially 2024, this is the year of activation.
Right.
So I need to be part of these conversations. And then I had an opportunity to bear witness myself to your computational mathematical genius of a mind when you started breaking down your appreciation of systems and the need to have them put in place as parameters so we just don't be mentally masturbating. And I come from a community that specialized in that. You know what I'm saying? They created an industry out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, industry word.
So, I've always been asking for the missing piece, that missing component. I'm like, all right, well, who understands structure? Who understands management, time management? You know what I'm saying? Who understands ideation? Who understands, the process? Who appreciates the process and is not intimidated by numbers? You feel me? Whether that be time on the clock or, commas on a check, right? Because there's all numbers at the end of the day.
Well, it is.
So yeah, again, I felt that it was needed and necessary to be part of this conversation.
I appreciate it, yeah, man. I appreciate it. Y'all make me feel like I know what I'm talking about, man. Right? But I learned a lot from you brothers, and we were having a conversation of building systems.
Yes.
Like, how do we go from just, like I said, mental masturbation to having systems in place, actually elevating, right, putting things out. And I always tell you, systems is divine order. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, everything is a system, right? We have the seasons. If the sun didn't come up and go down on the regular, we be looking
right.
crazy. But if we came up like once every 2 weeks and it
right.
came up like one, waiting a month.
Yeah. We are contingent on consistency, right? It's the framework of our reality. If there's a glitch or a blip at all in that schedule, all hell will break loose.
All hell will break loose.
So we already know that, yes, we are incumbent upon systems, irregardless of our conditioning or exposure. All right. So it means like I can be programmed and raised a particular way, to think a particular way, to behave a particular way. But systems, regardless, if I was born in the wild, raised by bears and wolves, right? The system's still gonna do what the system do. And then there's systems within systems, within systems.
So there's two things that happen with all systems.
Right.
And if we're going, you got me in the systems part. Well, so the main thing about systems is there's a system that's running that we don't really understand that we do, right?
Right.
Some people, they like, I get up every morning at 3 o'clock. Why? I just can't sleep. Now your body got just done how you on a system. Start watching when you eat. Start watching when you just watch how you do things. You'll start seeing that you already done created a system for yourself. You find yourself at a bar on Friday night. You find yourself looking for something to do on Saturday night. Whatever it is, right? You already done created some kind of system to be habitual. And when you don't have a system, that's when you become bored, lazy, and because now you have to find novelty. And novelty is very difficult to find consistently, right? It's very hard to find something, exciting, adventurous to do on a consistent basis. But then you want to have intentional systems. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I get up at 5 o'clock. That's intentional, right? Hey, I'm gonna do my Sunday review. That's intentional. We're gonna open the door at 5 a.m. For our business. That's intentional. We're gonna record our podcast on Wednesdays and Thursdays. That's intentional, right? That way you're able to schedule and block out. And even blocking out time to just do nothing is a system.
It's a system.
Right? So people don't like the systematic part of it, but it brings so much more relevancy. Diving in, because I can go all day about systems and processes and SOPs and how we do things and mapping things out. Let's talk about first, what are you into right now? And then let's get a little backstory. So what's your main thing right now?
Systemizing delivery.
And what service is this, and what service would you like to systemize delivery?
Systemizing delivery in the realm of vegan and infused foods, and also in a burgeoning THC industry, of which there exists a loophole at this moment, and I want to engage in the opportunity of a lifetime.
Very well. You want to dig in?
I don't know how much detail I want to get into necessarily at the moment, but I also want to be able to share some of the wisdom about being, in business, in life. Business is life to me. I don't make the separation.
Nah, there's no separation. So it's all one thing.
My assignment, like you said, like in the community, I'm looked at as a thought leader. I'm someone who had enough nerve, in the earlier part of my life in the earlier 2000s to, stand up and wave the flag of what's considered to be consciousness, to say, there's a different way that we can think and look at the world. And we started ideating this thought and this idea that we were more than we were being told of who and what we are. And this is a late term run on greatness, you know what I'm saying? Because I was born in the 70s and I was born into this information, but I really activated in the early 2000s in Harlem, New York, at the beginning and, the upswelling of what the conscious community would ultimately become. And from that place, on that little corner on 125th across the street from the Apollo, I just felt that I can finalize my large dream as a child to be able to do something to save the world. And I felt that I was in the right place to do it amongst our people. And I just knew that we had what it took. And I knew that it was going to be a lot of work. And I didn't necessarily know how to go about it because there was no blueprint. But I was confident enough to know that there was an availability to systems now because things were being democratized. I didn't even know of everything that was going on, but my vision told me this shit was coming. And it was like, finances are gonna be democratized, communication is gonna be democratized, you know what I'm saying? Social, distribution, all of these things I had.
Of video, what we're doing now,
yes.
Right? Airwaves, right?
I knew this in 2000 just by having the mind, you know what I'm saying? Having the ability to conjure thoughts in my mind was able to show me a vision and having enough faith in this vision as a child that grew up on cartoons and comic books and had a vivid imagination. I'm the same person I thought I was when I was 5, with the freedom of thought and imagination to say, if I can see this shit, then it's for me. Like, why not? I didn't live long enough to see everything else that I saw that people was telling me, don't think about that as, being borderline reality. I seen that shit become reality. And you know what I'm saying, people that say nothing. So I'm like, they just out here jerking and jipping people from freely thinking and dreaming and seeing in color things. So I just look to say, yo, I've seen so much that I've envisioned become consecrated in the material world in front of me in this short lifespan. So I'm like, why not swing for the fence and go for it all? So, I know that our liberation as a people deals with two main things, and that's the restitution of our identity, who we see ourselves are, and the brand that we're working on as a business out in the world. What does the brand of Blackness represent now? And how can we restore that in 10, 15, or 20 years? Because it's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's a marketing campaign, right?
Right, it's a marketing campaign, right? So, and I know that we have to be restored financially. And to me, both of those things are reparations, right? In the sense of the word, meaning to repair. I feel that we're gonna have to put us together. In the meantime, in between time, we don't got time to wait for anything else. But the magic is in the momentum. So if we start moving and loving on ourselves and realizing that there's certain things that we can do for self and we can pick up certain responsibilities along the way, then other things will be magnetized towards us. Because once we start moving collectively, cohesively, right, the magic is in the momentum. Everything is bound to follow whatever direction we're going, especially moving into what's considered to be a solar maximum. This is the solar maximum 25. So the sun is waking up, it's activating, it does it for 11 years. And it's gonna reach its pinnacle this year. I phrased this year the Kobe years. Kobe with the number 8 and the number 24. Those both is the numbers of this year. He was about a mama mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Or going all the way in.
All the way in. So if as businessmen, as visionaries, you know what I'm saying? I look at us as titans of industry, like who wants to really take it there? Because if we understand, again, that because of these technological advances that are taking place right now, you can literally disrupt any industry if you have a radical enough thought, right? And the way that I get my revolution now, when I was younger, I participated in something called retail reparations, right? Where I was repatriating cotton out of department stores and things of that nature. Wherever I felt the white folks was commercializing cotton, I was repatriating it. That was my retail reparations. So, it's the same way that when we create these businesses and we put that passion, you feel me, into totally dominating industry. It's like, all right, this is how we get on the chessboard and actually fight a fight that we can put some points on the score that actually means something.
Do you think that most brothers have that, I'm gonna go all the way out, I'm gonna swing for the fences?
No.
Why not?
It's been beat out of them.
How do we get that back? First, how is it beat out of them?
Again, there's a lot of different suppression tactics. You know what I'm saying? The system, right? It doses out very sour doses of its antidote, and the antidote is like, sit down, nigga, stay in your place. You feel me? Majority of brothers, when they attempt to, taste the fruits of what capitalism has to offer, they normally get it in how they live, so they're in the street. So already they've created this level of opposition up against the system that the system set up for them to play this particular game. It's already Hegelian in nature because they got the solution already, you know what I'm saying? Monetized and commodity, you know what I mean? And all other shit, legislatively for you to put yourself right back in slavery. So they playing this game. You dig what I'm saying? And when they catch up to our brothers, they put them in a position where they spend the rest of their life playing catch up after they give them their little penalty, or they don't want to take no more risks when they do come out. You feel me? So you need the risk factor. It's the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward, right? If you're going to disrupt industry, if you're going to have this radical thought, if you're going to go up against Goliath, you gotta have some testicular fortitude, some cojones. You gotta have vision enough to see beyond what's being presented to you and follow it through, right? Be crazy enough to actually follow through with it. And that unfortunately, that part is beat out of us when they do take imagination early as children, you know what I'm saying? And they do suppress and step on people's willingness to exert themselves, right? So moving into solar maximum, the sun coincides anatomically with our solar plexus, which is where our will resides, right? So we have the ability coming forward, you know, under the energy of what this particular year represents, that, again, if we can dream it, right, we'll have the impetus to actually want to go and achieve it, right? But, you know what I mean? Like, you spoke earlier about that force that we have as children, you know, as men, to want to put these thoughts and these ideas and these energies in a particular place, right? That's like, that's represented astrologically by the sign of Aries, the ox, right? The ox is primal force. Can't stop it. You got to get out of its way. It's going to get to where it needs to go. It's going to exert itself, right? So if we don't have vision, but we still got that energy and that force, if the sun is still going to activate niggas to be on demon time, but they on demon time, that energy is going to express itself in different ways. You know what I mean? So we got to get back to having more of these conversations so Black men can dream again and see themselves as worthy as being, you know, captains of industry and masters of the universe, and right? And not just having, you know, minimized conversations about what business needs to look like, but again, with you, with a mathematical, computational mind, you showing them with systems, if you can figure this system out, then you can scale this 10.
You know, I think about, so I'm gonna go back to
Yes.
seeing what you said about consciousness, right? Going back.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at Marcus Garvey, I look at Elijah Muhammad, right? I look at these movements, right? I look at Marcus Garvey even more, because what he did was the two things you need in business is you need the visionary and you need the system.
Yes.
All right, so there's both. You need both, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's businesses that are systematic, but they weren't visionary. Yes. And that's why they couldn't be the best, right? Mm-hmm. So example of a company that does both is Apple, right? Like they're visionary and systematic, yes. Right? They're both.
Yes.
Visionary is very difficult. We have, I believe, as Black people, because I see so many Black people when I meet them, and they always like, oh yeah, you're the key. I said, no, you're the key. My goal is to help you get the dream out there, because you understand, you have the vision, you know what you want to do, you know what you want to excel in, right?
Right.
And
so you're the key maker, innovators.
People, you know, somebody people don't like, right? That he was very loud and everything like that, but even Jay said it, people don't like Dame Dash, right? So
I do. Yeah.
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying there's people that
like the general public. Yeah.
But if you see Dame Dash, what he did, he was a systematic guy.
My systems,
right? As Jay said, you know, I had the vision. They had the details, right? He even said it in his song.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand what's going on behind it. But he said, yo, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna get all of you guys out here. You can be great, you can be amazing, right? And a lot of times brothers have those visions, but some of us have to take the point of being the person that sits back and says, yo, let me help you get these details out here. Let me help you get your vision out here, because you can see something that I can't see. I talked to some brothers, so many you, bro, behind the camera, you know, many men, many Black people out there have visions. I'm like, man, that's amazing. When they speak, what they see, I'm like, yo, we just need to get a system. So it's not just a system, right? I need to pull that back. It's actually the step by step on how we're gonna get there.
Not only that, it's the training that goes along with the step by step about getting there. Because therein lies the problem. You can have a system, but if you don't have people that's willing to play their part within the system to make the system fully activate, then you're gonna have system log.
But that's not the bigger problem though. The bigger problem, right? Because I always put it back on the leader, right? I always put everything back on the leader. Have you created that position for the person, for them to know what they play? Because a lot of times miscommunication happen, right? You'll say, hey, one man ain't playing his position. So my first question is, what's his position? Oh, he's supposed to do what's called. Let's call him over here and see if he even knows he's supposed to play that position. Because what you think and what he thinks are two different things. Because we haven't had a sit down and say, so listen, bro, I need you to play this position. I always tell all the people I work with, there's two things. Either I didn't tell you what to do, then it's my fault, or there's a list of what you need to do and you didn't do it, then it's your fault. If we had clear communication of what you need to do and then you didn't do it, that's a different story.
It's a different story.
But if I didn't tell you what to do, if I didn't give you instructions, it's my fault. But we think common sense is common.
It's not.
It's not. So like, he should have known that. He should have known the place for sitting down.
Nah, all communication has to be clear and crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
We just like a Mercury retrograde prone type of people. If we could get it wrong, we're gonna get it wrong because it's pushing us towards something that seems to be the most uncomfortable thing amongst us. You've seen us do everything in existence except unify. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why can't we unify, right? And unification is people playing their part. That's what unification is. That's what organization is, right? The right people playing their parts to make a cohesive part move, right? A body politic. You feel me? We move as a block of people, right? If we see ourselves as a monolith and we have a universal set agenda, something that we agree upon. You feel me? Where's the unity gonna come from if you can't unify around something?
So 2 questions. One is what about the people who say black people are not a monolith?
Granted, I believe both.
You believe both?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, so what, I mean, so, and then all right, then
Again, right.
Where's, why, so who don't, those who say we're not a monolith, why should we unify? What happens?
Okay, because with them I would say, well, you don't need the masses, right? Is there any unification among, you could be unified with one other person who shares your goals, your intentions, your beliefs, you know what I'm saying, and is playing their part in your agenda for power, right? Because I don't want to have a conversation about power ultimately.
Yeah.
We waste one another's time.
Now, the reason why I say that is because, so I hear about unity, one agenda, right? And people are like, oh, we all got to get on the same accord. I said, we all have to want the same outcome, right?
Yes.
So we have to say, because one thing about America, right, you have to understand about America, is that no matter what, Democrats and Republicans, they're going to fight, they're going to argue and everything, but they all want one thing, a great America. Ain't nobody, you never hear no Republican or Democrat say, I'm a man in America, right? You never heard that, right?
Yeah, it's the brand forward. Right?
The brand is always forward, right? No matter how much they argue. Right. But we as black people be like, nah. We have to, so.
We don't understand the brand.
We don't understand, but I mean, it's not, so that's why.
We don't understand the brand, we don't understand business, we don't understand brand identity, we don't understand the value of image. We don't understand cause versus value. We don't understand
That's why we got to put it out there. That's what we're doing out here. That's what we out here right now.
Yes.
So we have to clarify the message. Once again, it's back on the leaders. If you declare, because I tell everybody, that's my goal, to be a leader. And the only way I can be a leader is if people decide to follow me, right? I cannot force anybody. I cannot tell anybody. I cannot make anybody, right? I have a job opening, and if people want to come, I can only say, hey, do you want to apply here? Do you want to work here? Do we have a mutual agreement?
Right.
So I want to be a leader. So in order to be a leader, I have to clarify the brand message. Because people are walking around, most people don't get unconscious of what's going on. So we have to make them conscious. We have to present a brand identity. We have to present a leadership to say, hey, this is what we believe. This is what my goals are. And we also have to remember there is an entity out there that is out to destroy us. That we're not in a benign state where it's like, why are y'all not unified? Oh, we just don't want to be unified, right? Every time we try to unify, there is subversion, right, that comes into play. The ops come in to try to destroy that. So how does that, so those things I just look at when everything you said is correct, we don't have those things, but us as the leaders have to get those things out there. So we always have to say, you know what? This person doesn't get that message. When you talk to a baby, you be like, you gotta try to figure out how to get them to understand. Because they don't know, right? You don't be like, well, the baby don't know, he don't understand, you don't talk to him. Like, you try to talk to him in baby talk, you try to talk to hand signs, you try to talk in all kind of ways because your goal is to get the baby to understand communication, right? It's not, you don't blame the baby like, the baby can't talk, man. I'm not talking to the baby.
Yeah.
You know? Exactly. That's not what we do. But then we condemn the people when they don't know nothing. But we have to understand that everybody, no matter of age, it matters of level of understanding and because there's some people who have come to their own conclusion, right? And they're like, you know what, I'm for all of this, I'm not black, da da da, right? Then you have other people who are like, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've been taught a certain way. I've been living a certain way. You know, enlighten me. And then we have to be clear. Like, that don't make sense right there. And you may have to say it again. I done told them 8 times. What do you mean? You got to tell them 851,681 times. That's how it goes.
Right.
You got to keep, the message got to keep going. How long they been saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Forever. They ain't stopped saying it, right? They didn't say, you know what, we just stopped saying it now.
Yeah, we got to drill them. Ease up now,
Ain't no ease up, right? They still, they like, what?
Yeah.
I'm saying your parents know it. Yo, we've been saying this thing for 20 years. We can chill now. Nope. We gotta keep going. They had every game, all the stadium games, bro, they is not letting up.
Really?
And we talk about, we said it enough times. Think about this. There's one baseball team that plays 162 games. There's like 30 teams.
Right.
One NFL team plays 16 games plus the playoff. Let's say the regular season. There's 32 teams. NBA players play 82 games and there's 30 teams, right?
Right.
And in every game they gotta say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
We ain't even talking about the hockey, the high school. You've been hearing this all your life. They ain't never let up. They ain't say, you know what, you heard it enough.
No, they're consistent. And like you said, it's about training that part of you that you think that you are in control of and you're not, and that's the subconscious mind, and that's the realm. That part right there. You want to train it and train it through repetition, program it so it can run the program. And we're not training ourselves on success models. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not hypnotizing ourselves. We're not putting ourselves under success spells and things of that nature. We're sharing gossip and, you know, chit chat. You know, so that's the shit that's going viral with us. You know, spreads like wildfire. Controversy.
Let me ask you this right now. Where can we go to right now? That's a channel that has a curriculum straight for consciousness.
There are a few channels.
I'm right. Yes. And my thing is that has to be preached every day. You see, there's not, so people always, especially when I'm in a certain circle, they be like, I be talking that black shit all day. I said, we're not talking that enough, fam. There's not enough people know about it. If you know how many people we could go to and they had a picture on, it was on Instagram. And he was saying that, and they had a guy who was Martin Luther King, right? He looked like Martin Luther King, right? So he had his wife and his kid, and the little boy said, I didn't know who Martin Luther King was until my father, people were like, man, your father was like Martin Luther King, but I didn't know who that was. I learned it later on in school. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, man, if he didn't know who Martin Luther King was, he learned that from his father. I said, his father may have not even known. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and we're just talking about Martin Luther King. We ain't talking about people who, right? We're not talking about Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and then just going on down the line to lesser known people, right, in the struggle. Yeah, right? They don't know Black Panther, they don't know Huey, right? They don't know these things, right? Most people don't know. They don't know the struggle. They don't even know going into this realm. So we have to have it where this is what we spit. the ones who 5%ers back in the day, right? Because you had to do the knowledge, right? And just think about how much 5% of knowledge seeped into the language of New Yorkers. Many New Yorkers who never were 5%.
Share the lingo. Right.
Because the 5%ers was always spitting the lingo.
Right. They seeded their environment.
The
lingo.
With the lingo.
Became part of the atmosphere.
Of that. So that's all I'm saying is that it can be done. And I'm just giving you examples of how it's already been done, right? Because brothers who never heard of 5%, yo, peace, God, they don't even know where that come from, right? They don't know the story of Clarence X. They don't know none of these things.
Right.
But they understand, but the lingo is in a lot of New Yorkers. Young men who never heard of it.
The lingo traveled further than the lessons.
It traveled further than the lessons.
Lingo traveled further than the lessons. Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what we want to be able to do.
Yeah, that's power of language.
That's the power of language. So we have to distill, because what Clarence needs to distill the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Arabs understood it with the Quran, right? And you got to recite the Quran 5 times a day. You got to read the whole Quran during Ramadan, right? Everybody understands, but where is it that us as black men who are in the country, where we have a common language and a common curriculum that we're trying to put forth to the people so that we can have the same lingo. So when we do see each other,
right,
it is your peace, God.
Talk that talk. Right.
And you know who you know because we talking that talk. So that's
we need that.
That's what we need. But that's where it comes back to the systemization of it. That's where it comes back to the distilling of it, to that, if we're talking business talk, to the SOPs, to the documentation, to the recitation, to understanding, where do I go to the improvement process? How do we improve this process that we're doing? How do we improve the knowledge? Because that was one of the things that I think that the brothers never did, was I have to understand that nothing is set in stone. But the knowledge was set in stone. They're like, Clarence, they came with the knowledge. So you can't change that. You can't. But we have to understand there gotta be continuous improvement. Now, I don't say you can change it willy-nilly.
I mean, that's what plustic leads are, but they said that you can't add on to.
You can't add.
Yeah, it's complete. And I understand that as a theology, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? And always leave room for expansion.
Always leave room for expansion.
Always leave room for expansion.
Because we gotta understand that we all men. We all men of God. We all gonna see visions. This is why every religion has more than one sect. Because every man comes and sees holes or sees a different expression of what this other man saw.
Absolutely. Interpretation. Everybody perceives differently. Our field of perception and our sensory perception apparatuses are different. They're conditioned differently, again, through conditioning. So, there's going to be variety and diversity. That's what makes life so beautiful. But we need to employ these same concepts when it comes to business. We need diversity and variety in business in our community. We need to be doing more than just barbershops and beauty salons. You know what I'm saying?
This is where our client acquisition scaling company, right?
Yes.
This is what we do. And our goal is to professionalize black businesses, right? What does that mean? Systemize, professionalize doing businesses, because like you said, a lot of we just wake up, and I don't think there's anything wrong with just doing the barbershop, but I just think that the problem is brothers get one barbershop and they're not trying to be supercuts, right? They're not trying to have a franchise. They're not trying to explode it, right? Because we're in here playing business.
Right. And I mean, I don't want to get picky and start nitpicking things, but I've been to the trade shows, you know what I'm saying? So, that there's so many different pieces, facets, and components of the beauty industry, you know what I mean? And we're not involved with none of them. We're just on the labor side,
Once again, there's where's the Black Man Business School? So most black men, and when I say Black Man Business School, I'm not meaning Like, there's, black men go to Harvard, black men go to even, Morehouse, all that, right?
But something that's specific to us that speaks to, the unique environment that we find ourselves in, because this education can be taken to wherever you find us at in the country, we're going to have some of the same social dynamics. You know what I mean? And I would just want to tell them, look, wherever you at in your city, make sure that you the man that they coming to buy the next stuff from, or come up with a spray of your own, or, you know what I'm saying? This particular technique. Because then I seen the Dominicans come in there and systemize shops all over. Like, damn, they look at the system that they running here. They was running that shit from DR to BX and back. Like, they was running a system. And I saw what it looked like when you can improvise and improve upon a system, and you even got the like, I done watched entire barbershops, decline because the two quote-unquote hottest niggas in the shop couldn't figure it out and get it together, and the ego shit done sunk the whole shop.
Guess what? There was nobody, there was no mastermind.
That's what I'm saying. I seen the Dominicans come and implement systems where dude in the front is sizzling hot, but he got a whole streamlining process where he can't take everybody and all of his homies get to eat, and they're circulating customers, so no time during the day that somebody's sitting around idle. Them shops be pumping, they be jumping, you know what I'm saying? And it's a system that you see running, because I see it everywhere that I go around the country now. I see it everywhere, and it works the same.
And there's a lot of little things in it, each one teach one, right? So if I'm nice with the barbershop, if I'm nice with the cutting hair, I gotta be able to help you improve. I can't see you as competition.
Right.
Instead of seeing us as a team, we be the same shit. Exactly. I'm like, yo, fam, like, yo, because you gonna hear the thing, like, people be like, yo, why you don't go with my man? Oh, nah, he doing so bad.
Right. So who wanna work in the shop like that?
But I need to go over to that barber.
Right.
And be like, listen, let's work on your technique.
Right. Step your shit up.
Let's step your shit up. You my mans.
Right.
But we be thinking, but it's competition. So that's where the visionary gotta come in, because he gotta be, so when people open, it's a whole different thing leading people. Because business ownership of actual employing people and running things like that is actual leadership.
It is. That's what I said. This should go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand.
You know what I mean? But the unique circumstances that we find ourselves looking to overcome as business owners and people that are in business is the same issues that we're finding, in our approach to our people socially, in terms of helping them imbue a sense of self within themselves to want to stand up on their own and state their claim in this world, right? You got to get past the trauma. You got to get past the image issue, this image identity. How people don't see themselves as being worthy of business or being successful as business titans. It's the same way that they don't see themselves, for whatever reason, just as worthy as being benefactors in society of anything that's just beyond mediocre. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we gotta work on the traumas, because that's affecting how we see ourselves, one another, and we go out here in the world and get aggressive with business. Because now I'm starting to see I can't help but make the evaluation, because it's told me so many times, yo, why don't other people come here? And we can't say that them people don't come from trauma now. Because we know, goddamn, we all seen their backstory. But they get here and they latch to this shit, and now you can't no longer say, man, y'all just said that, you know what I mean? Y'all talking, y'all trying to pit them in. No, they get here and they get to it.
So my family's Jamaican, right? And I always want to give people the context when people say that, right? Is that you gotta understand who's coming over here. It's the best of the best. We have to understand that the people that's coming from these places, they was willing to take risk. Most people in America, right, in any country, they never leave their hometown. They stay right where they are. They don't leave.
They're localized.
This is why a lot of people here in Atlanta get money. How many people here are not from here?
The majority.
Majority, right? And we all got, and everybody doing good. They got their housing, because this is the best of the best. The best of the best don't come from here. The best of the best come here.
Right.
So it's the same thing coming to America. You got the best of the best.
Like that analogy.
So, I just understand, because the reason why, because I want people to understand. I have another business in Jamaica, right? We have VAs that, service businessmen, right? Businesswomen, anybody,
You got
right?
virtual assistants?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whole systems?
Whole systems, yes, sir.
Ready to talk. No, that's
Yeah, we train them, we bring them in,
yeah,
we do all of that. So yeah, I tell people, we're all about systemizing and everybody being able to play their role in the position that they feel comfortable playing that role.
Player once told me in the streets, right? Because then you also got to find a tool way, because this is where we get our education from. He said, player, said it's not what you can do, it's what you can duplicate.
It's what you can duplicate.
I was like, oh, that was such a gem, right? And I applied it. I looked in the real world with this information, with this lens. They fine tune you. They give you, they allow you to tweak your aperture. And you go in the world and you take this game that you hear that other people undervalue because they're looking from whence it came and they're thinking that this is not a wealth of information. And you look at the world and you see that that's exactly how it plays, right? So systems, if you can duplicate it, right? Because, I just gotta come up with ideation. I just gotta think of ideas now. And you already have prepared soil. You got soil that's already fertilized, and you got the mineralization. And I just gotta come along and drop seeds in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's where they got us at, though. I'm gonna tell you this. Right?
Yeah, but
they don't. And because I want to get on this point that you said about not the duplication part, right?
Yeah.
We don't have time to think, bro. See, people don't value time to just sit back, relax, and think and write and just
download, right?
You at a stage where you're supposed to be able to you ain't supposed to see, but when you have to worry about the petty, and I'm being paid, things that are that anybody can do.
Right.
There's things that you can do that you are in your mind from experience and from knowledge of what you've done, that you need time, hours a day to sit back and think.
So, which brings us up to the current moment in time, and why I also felt it was so needed and necessary to connect with you and hear more of how your mind thinks, so I can compliment you on, where you have gotten us thus far, but also inform you about, AI and what AI really represents, and the ability to, AI has answered a lot of the questions, right? And a lot of the requests, a lot of the cries from our folk, a lot of the requests from our elders that was hanging on to a thread that said, if only you send me X, Y, and Z, I see my people can achieve victory. That's what AI has. That's what blockchain has represented to every revolutionary that thought about an autonomous, decentralized finance system where they can really be free and independent of the quote-unquote man or the beast. If they only had this way, all of that happened. It's still nothing. Not even to the degree where we own it, where we like, nigga, we about to get free. That's how we about to do it. It's like the observation and the thought process around the pieces that have been presented to us, assembly on your own. You feel me? It's almost like you get the script for a ghost gun. Like, all right, now you gotta go and put that shit together. And it's the same thing. I think that the universe has given us everything that we've asked for. And we don't know how to put that shit together. Because we distracted doing other things and we're not sharing the most critical pieces of information. You feel me? Like, there's so many different chatbots that will relieve us of unnecessary things that we might be taking time to do, that there's already a solution to, that says, yo, there's a solution to that. And the only thing we gotta do is share this information, and we can allow, specifically, like you said, melanated people to find time to think again.
Just give me my phone real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to look something up.
Yes, get into the thought process.
Tell me how many users is on ChatGPT, like registered users for ChatGPT?
Yes.
You
got a call.
Sorry, I didn't talk about that. There you go.
So I have, you know.
I'm just trying to see what's going on.
No problem.
All right. You got how many users does ChatGPT have?
Active users.
All right. So it has 180 million users, right? Active on ChatGPT, right? How many people in the world?
7 to 8 billion.
Billion, right? So that means we ain't even hit 10% of the world know about ChatGPT yet. You see what I'm saying? Like 10% of the world, and then out of those 180 million, ask people who use ChatGPT, how many of them, we not talking about chat bots, we not talking about the upgraded, the active version, ChatGPT 4, when we say 180 million, most of the people are not on,
Right.
or are not on
GPT
4, not on GPT 4, right? They just use the 3.5, the basic version, right? And which is very limited, you know, in terms of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go in the streets and ask people, say, do you know about ChatGPT? About 10% will say yes. And then if you ask them 10%, you're like, how often do you use it? Oh, I just do inquiries. You know, I ask it, you know, what happened last week, or write me a paper or do me an email or something, you know, basic, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is that we are at a point, it seems late in the game, because when you start diving into it, you start seeing videos and you be in your own mind. I just brought up the numbers because that's all I do. Because every time, you know what I'm saying? Because I always tell people, don't go by my word. Let's look the numbers up. Can we find it? If we can't find the numbers, let's go get the numbers.
The number's gonna tell a bigger story.
A bigger story.
You just did, right? Which is so very useful. Again, that's why we want to 10x you. You're the numbers guy, right? Every hood, we need to 10x the number guys in the hood, right? I mean, a block can never operate without the numbers guy. And again, when I strip things down and I look at things for what they are, I'm like, the dudes, the brothers that I had talking grams, they the numbers guys. They already got it in their head. They could compute. You know what I'm saying? Some people that I've known that they have cracked the whole crypto space, those dudes used to be number guys in the street, you know, mathematical, computational, and they're thinkers, they're solution-based. People who are mathematical, computational thinkers, they're thinking solutions. You know what I'm saying? So my excitement, like I said, is just coming from the fact that I've glimpsed, you know, the future. And if we can mobilize and galvanize the people to want to get busy and imbue idea in their minds that they are worthy of victory, that they are worthy for, you know, a scope of victory that they can't even conceive is so far outside of their scope. You know, if we can convince them just to entertain that thought and that idea, you know, they'll be able to step into all of what's available for them for their future to really handle their business in a way in which we've never been able to do before. We've got more assistance and more help, you know what I'm saying? More access to resources. You know, we have more of a cheat code than we've ever had without the necessity to cheat though. We're just not dreaming a big enough dream. You feel me? But the engine to make that happen, to power those dreams, they do exist in real time.
I don't think that we don't have the dreams. I think we don't live them. We don't go after them every day. You can't go after them every week. You can't go after them once a month. You can't go after them once a year. You have to wake up every day into that dream. When people are like, yo, that can't happen. Nah, that ain't nothing. Yo, that's impossible. Nah, I'm like, all right, I'm about to go to sleep and wake up and go after this dream again. I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up. It's everyday consistency, because understand that you're fighting for something that's never, ever been done. I'm telling you, like, yo, liberation of Black people. People can't even conceive, what does that, you know, because I start telling them, I break it down, what does that look like? Controlling our resources, educating our people, understanding that we created a safe space for our people to live and raise their children in. That is the main thing, that we control our resources, decide we're gonna do those resources, have a governing body that their main focus is on keeping our people safe and creating an environment where they can live and be free, right? Also, I always give this one thing. Here in America, this is the land of the free and the brave, they say, right? And they also say that it's the pursuit of what?
Life and liberty.
Life and liberty, right? Pursuit of happiness, right? Life and liberty. And I always say the number one thing we should be making is not that you should be able to pursue happiness. The number one goal should be everybody has something to eat and somewhere to live, right? So it's always a dichotomy. People like, people shouldn't be rich. I said, it's not rich or poor. It's that some people don't want to be rich. Our main goal has to be that not everybody can be rich, because that's the aspiration here. Like, yo, anybody can be rich. But I said, everybody can't be rich. Anybody can be rich, but not everybody can be rich, right? So our main goal should be that everybody should have something to eat, somewhere to live, and a safe space, right? It can happen. There's places in the world that there's no crime. There's places in the world that nothing is going on. There's places in the world that are safe, that the people can walk around and not be in fear of their life. And that's the environment. It's capable, it's already being done, that we can create. And so my goal is to get the visions out of people and to let them make impact in their area. But it's to organize all of those people in one place and have a common focus on doing big things for our people.
Absolutely. Yes. So that's definitely in alignment, you know.
Now, that's why you're here. We're in alignment. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what is it? So we have consciousness. We understand that you want to get into the health space. Is that correct?
I'm
Not get into whatever, but actively into it, right? What's the biggest challenge right now in the health space?
I would say an area that I'm looking to conquer that I have felt resistance in is distribution, right? During the 2022, 23 year period, really 21, 22 after the pandemic, you know, deliveries started becoming very sketchy. United States Postal Service almost became non-reliant, right? I saw systems fall. Systems were no longer working.
That we took for granted.
That we took for granted. They were buckling underneath us, and that was affecting me on my bottom line. You know, packages were just disappearing, or they were sending people the wrong stuff, or stuff was coming broke. It was just being compromised. I saw a vital part of my company that I'm not in charge of, which is logistics. Once it leaves me, you know, what's happening between the time that it leaves my facility till it gets to the customer, I'm not in charge of that. But now that is not being handled in the right way. And when I looked into it, the company that was handling my fulfillment is the second biggest in the country, and they have inferior service and they have inferior technology. So I want to disrupt that space.
The logistics space.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem. It's not I say it's no problem, but I don't believe it.
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a question of systems.
Oh no,
systems.
Listen,
Logistics is straight systems.
It's straight. So, and we have to always remember, behind the system, until we get to the robots and they're automatically in place, right? Systems there are people behind the systems, right? That have to execute them and have to believe in the vision and have, you know, how do you keep those people motivated who are working in a warehouse, who are at these places, right? So you want to disrupt the logistics system, right?
Yes.
More than saying the health part, or you want to add a logistics onto your health part?
I want to increase the logistic aspect of the health part.
Okay.
Right? That we have formulated products that we know work amazing for people. The delivery system involved in those products need to revolutionize themselves and step up in accordance with where technology is at.
And what's your idea? What do you think to go about doing this to revolutionize or change or even improve? Sometimes it's not a revolution. Sometimes it's just improving on the process. What do you think where do you want to start at improving?
Right. Again, so this is going to be tied into our run on food distribution, logistics in terms of that, getting that tightened together and figuring out how to tighten that system based on different logistics, and that's based on satellites. And that's based on, you know, different delivery systems that we're about to implement in terms of e-scooters and tapping into an available labor force that people might be overlooking, which is some of the new labor force that is coming into this country, right? That is ready to shake, rattle, and roll, right?
And they do it on a scooter. They can do it different kind of ways.
Scooter, they can do it on an e-scooter at that. So I'm partnering with these electrical scooter companies that are, making it very convenient. We're making these investments in these particular vehicles, and we have this labor force that is extremely low labor force, right? But we have this goal, which is to have a better equity model for our delivery people and something that's faster than they're used to, that I can disrupt. You know what I'm saying? And the food ultimately is going to spread to products. I have a very visionary plan on how to disrupt e-retail, with the new glasses, the goggles that are out. Meta shoppers are the future of shopping, right? Personalized shoppers. That let's say you got a pair of Meta glasses, you know what I'm saying? And I'm used to going to Instacart. Real story, the first time I ordered Instacart, and I needed this product for something because I had a whole order tied up into it. They delivered me the wrong shit. And I was on a time schedule. And to get it, I couldn't even go back and get it. I looked up on their app, and it's only this one store in Atlanta had it, but they gave me the wrong one, so I was asked out.
Okay,
right? So I had a terrible experience my first time with them. You feel me? I want to disrupt that industry with people who are now available, because there's way more people that got time on their hand with nothing to do, right? There's an overswelling amount of bodies available for the labor force, right?
Yeah.
I will put some glasses on you. Somebody's going to rent out a block of your time, and you're going to go do shopping for them, and they're going to be on the other end of that shopping, being specific about what they want, rather than leaving it up to a random shopper to put groceries in their bag and bring it to them just to find out they got the wrong shit.
Man, you gotta talk about that. We gotta look again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, like I'm saying, there's so many ways that we can rock the system by implementing new systems based on the times that we're in and the unprecedented opportunity that's afforded to us at this time. If only we can see ourselves as being the ones that they're like, they did this for us. This was for us. Yeah. Right? To the point where we fucking hypnotize ourselves to believe it. Whatever's necessary at this point to convince ourselves that we're worthy of a victory. We can, because it's here. We can easily structure our way to victory, but our refusal to do so will guarantee our defeat.
Guaranteed.
In this volatile environment, right? Because you can wake up to a totally different world. The financial system could be flipped in a day or two. So the financial literacy of our people having to learn about DeFi, Web3, and crypto, that is of a pressing, alarming nature. Like you said, if there's a 4% adoptability amongst the population of the people, that's considered mass adoption. Mm-hmm. Right? 10% is you doing your thing.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. It's
right now we don't have even what's called that's done there. But
so our people is not even at the 1% quotient when it comes to having this education information about the new coming financial system, and they're tethered to the dollar.
We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna so as it is, as we wrap up here at the Black Niggas, but we tell everybody, look, 6 months to a year, we wanna bring you back, we wanna see where you at from there, how things are going, and we get an update.
Because I do wanna reiterate that a lot of what I shared to you, even though there were some plans that I spoke about that will be implemented within the first 4 quarters of this fiscal, the overall agenda, we've given ourselves 20 years to complete. So this is a comprehensive plan that has a completion date on it in 2044. And if it needs to be amended, then so be it, right? But it's a business plan, and it's a business plan for the business of our people. saving, quote unquote, liberating, the lives of our people is a business.
It's a business, yeah.
You understand? And if we fail to look at it and approach it as such, right, we will always be in a goddamn poorhouse with our hands out, you feel me, begging about something that, we have an inherent treasure and we out here fucking begging, shaking the cup.
They don't understand business is about impact, the aim is impact, not profit. You know what I'm saying? Profit is necessary, but impact is what we're after. Tell them where you at, brother, where we can find you at on all social media channels.
Yes, at Blue Pillar 44, that's BLUEPILLAR, Blue Pillar 44. That's at Blue Pillar on IG, at Blue Pillar 44 on Threads, Twitter, which is X, TikTok, I believe, and Blue Pillar 44 at Gmail if you need to shoot me any inquiries. If you are in the Brooklyn, New York area, February 3rd, I will be at Nicholas Brooklyn. That is in the Bed-Stuy area of Brooklyn, New York, on February 3rd from the hours of 6 to 9 with the good brother Black Dot. We will be doing part of the Spiritual Legacy series at Nicholas Brooklyn, and the presentation is going to be called The Black Myth Story, right? And I look forward to seeing you in the building, family. Goldwater.com. Go check the business out, GOLDEWATER, goldwater.com. Cosmicdust.com, COZMIKDUST.com. And the food app is coming soon. It's going to be called Spiked. And with that,
all right, man. Appreciate y'all. Stay focused, stay blessed. Black Businessman Podcast, another episode. Thank you, Blue Pill, for being here, man. Thanks for our appreciation, all right? Y'all hold it down. Peace.
peace.